Hey traders, TG Watkins. It is October 1st when I'm recording this. Hope you guys are doing well. I've got some news for you, partly because it is the rollover of a new month and a new quarter, so we've got something to talk about with that. We're also going to be talking about the government shutdown and some seasonality, so stick around for that. And then we're going to be talking about the new thing that we're going to be doing basically for, really hitting it hard at the beginning of October. And we're going to be carrying this all the way through January 15th. It's going to be the Moxie Mutual Fund. Now, I am putting this in air quotes because this is not a real fund. Okay, there's not real money here. This is an exercise. This is an educational thing for those of you who are on the inside of the Moxie room. You guys can join if you want. And that's why I wanted to put this together because yes, we put trades on and we give alerts and like this, but I thought we'd have a little bit of fun since the market's looking pretty good. And let's see what it's like for us to create a mutual fund because the Moxie traders have always talked about this. And so I thought, okay, let's do this. Let's do a paper trade, paper fund like this. So let's dive into it and you guys can enjoy the rest of the video here. What we're going to be looking at, this is the post that I sent out to the subscribers this morning. Remember, you guys can come join if you want. And we're going to be building it in October. And so what it is, hey, Moxie traders, let's do a little group project. Starting today till October 15th, I'm going to be taking ticker suggestions from you guys. So this is not just a me thing. This is a group effort for those of you who are on the inside of the Moxie room. And we're going to be building a simulated portfolio. We've decided we're going to do 30 names, so 30 tickers. And we will track these to January 15th. That's when OPEX is. And we'll see how the fund did. Now, of course, we can manage this thing. So if something's not working out, we can get rid of it and we can buy something else, put something else in the fund. But we're going to be looking at this and we're not going to set stops and we're going to kind of evaluate this each week on an ongoing basis. So I said, hey, get your tickers ready. Let's drop them in the chat. We had a lot of activity today. Had a lot of people in the room. It's been pretty fun. It's actually a good time here. And we're going to be discussing each of these trades to see how this actually works out. So give me a reason for the ticker, the setup, the market theme, expectations. Don't just throw out a ticker because we're going to discuss this. We need to know why. And then also needs to, we kind of need to have an idea that this thing's going to last a few months because it's a mutual fund. We want to be a little bit slower on it. And we are doing this for the next, 3 months or so. All right, and then we've got some Moxie news. Okay, so the Moxie Indicator is going to be the indicator of the month at simplertrading.com. So come on over. We're going to be running some specials with the trading room, with the indicator itself. I'm actually going to be putting a webinar on October 16th. We're going to be talking about how the room has been doing, how my account performance has been doing, some of the trades we've been doing, and how the Moxie Indicator, along with my trading style, has been working in this kind of market. Basically it's been doing great. So letting you guys know we're pretty happy about it. We're going to be discussing the 2,060% trade that I had on SOXL at the bottom of the market, how that also grew the account from 46,000 to 719,000 in 30 days. That was my options trading account, so now that's much bigger. And then I have even another account which was mostly stock, and how I've grown that from 100,000 to 500,000 in 12 months. So got lots of stuff to show you guys and how this has been working, and whether you guys want to know day trading, 0 DTE, and whether you want to know stock trading or options trading. I kind of do it all, and we're going to be discussing all of that as well. Okay, so as we get back into the Moxie Mutual Fund, we have 2 people in the room who are actually helping here. One of them is kind of keeping track on their own. The other one decided to create a spreadsheet. So yeah, big group effort here. And we have this spreadsheet. As you can see, there are only 2 names, so 50-50. And we're going to be adding 28 more and see how this thing goes. So it'll be kind of fun to be able to watch this. Again, if you guys are interested, come over to the Moxie room. And as you can see, the 2 that we picked today were Tesla and BMNU. These are both leverage ETFs of the main stocks. We got Tesla and BMNR, BitMiner. And what I want to show you next, so we'll be tracking this as this continues. This really kind of cracked me up. So if anybody has seen me on YouTube and anything else that I've put out there and my weekly market updates that I put out over the weekend, one of the trades that I've been talking about quite a bit is BMNR. And Tom Lee and his stuff and all that kind of stuff. This is the MSTR of Ethereum. It's going to be a treasury company. They're buying a bunch of Ethereum. They're supposed to be leverage and all that kind of stuff. And when we were trying to decide what our second ticker to put into the Moxie Mutual Fund was going to be today, I was like, okay, how am I going to figure this out? Let's have you guys vote. And I came up with a few different stocks in a variety of sectors. And I made sure that to keep them all fair for today, they all also have leverage ETFs with them. You can see, the regular and the leverage, the regular and the leverage. And I put it out there for you guys to vote. And I went away, made some breakfast, came back. And when I came back, it was overwhelmingly BMNR. And it just made me smile because, as I said jokingly, that it told me that basically my brainwashing of telling everybody that BMNR was going to be a big position for mine, and I think that this was going to be a big mover sometime in the future, had apparently worked. When the power of suggestion had everybody agreeing that we should go into BMNR, BMNU, as far as the Moxie Mutual Fund for the second ticker. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And then we'll have to look at, after that, maybe we'll add coin as the next one. But yeah, very interesting to see that everyone was very happy about that. And we had a lot of responses. So I think we only had it on for about 20 minutes. We have a lot of people in the room, only so many people who actually respond to things. So that's a pretty good number right now. And we'll see if we can grow that number over the next few weeks to get more people to vote on these things. Okay. Doing this, I think, would be a great way for you guys to get trade ideas, because of course there are going to be a lot of tickers that we discuss. We're going to be practicing portfolio management, because I think trading is one thing, like, oh, I put on a trade and I took it off and I won, but now we have to actually build a portfolio. We have to have good names. We want it to be spread around a little bit, different sectors, don't want it all to be concentrated. And then we have to have kind of a longer runway, a longer horizon for how these things are going to go. And so now you can actually get a feel for how is this whole thing going to work, and what does your overall account look like when you have 30 tickers in it. I think this is a little bit different than some people might be used to trading and looking at their whole account situation. And then learn from the group. We have veteran traders in here, not just myself. I know we have full-time dedicated traders who are at home, and they're in the Moxie room as well. And we've had people who have been trading longer than I have been trading. And so we have some really, really heavy hitters and really smart people in the Moxie room, and it's a great environment. We will be discussing the fund and how we manage it and how it's going every Thursday, because Thursday I don't have anything else I need to do. I get on the mic at 10:30 Central, and basically I'm kind of open for the day, so we can actually take our time. We can discuss the positions, we can slow down, and we can actually do this, and I don't have any other obligations that I need to do. So I figured Thursdays were going to be a good day to really get down and discuss it. And as I said, we're going to be adding 2 tickers per day, October 1st through October 15th. And then we will see how they go until January 15th. Okay. All right. Now, let's also discuss a little bit about this shutdown. Anybody who has been alive and paying attention to politics for more than a few years has seen this government shutdown thing before. It's kind of like the debt ceiling situation. The politicians like to make a big deal out of it for each side. They use it as a club. They like to beat each other over the head with it. It doesn't matter which side you're on. And then they make it a big deal, and eventually they negotiate, and it's no problem. Here are some stats that I found to be very, very interesting. The average length of a shutdown is only 8 days. Okay, so yeah, like a week, a little bit more than a week, something like that. All right, so not very long. The S&P has ended higher 1 year after the shutdown in 86% of the cases. Awesome. We're also in a bull market, so that kind of just goes along with this anyway. The S&P posts an average gain of 13% 1 year after the shutdown did. So it's positive 86% of the time, and of that 86% of the time, it's an average of 13% higher. That's also pretty awesome. During the 35 days, so that was a longer shutdown. So during the 35-day shutdown in 2018, the S&P rallied 11%. Incredible. Here's the other thing. I'm just going to jump this one. The Fed generally turns more dovish if government data releases are paused. So you kind of add these two together, and it tells me that the market actually loves it when the government shuts down, because it probably means they can't get in their business. We don't have news that comes out all the time. We don't have like data that the market has to watch out for. It just kind of like lets the market do its thing. And, we just had a dip last week. We went through some seasonal weakness of sell Rosh Hashanah. Tomorrow is buy Yom Kippur. And we just rolled over. We just closed September. So the historically weakest month of the year. And we also closed the end of the quarter. So it's a new month and a new quarter. And we could see that because yesterday kind of prices were all locked up, not too much was moving. And look, today, government's shut down and we have a new month and a new quarter and prices are moving. It's a good strong day today. And then you can see here, while the government is shut down, the U.S. defers $400 million a day in costs. Whatever, take that for what it is. So yeah, historically, the market actually welcomes shutdowns. Has that for a headline. And then if we come over here and we look at some history, the only other thing I've heard that could put a little bit of damper on the market is we're supposed to have seasonal weakness in August. We're supposed to have seasonal weakness in September. And we didn't really get either of those. In August, the most we got was about 6 weeks of the market actually going sideways. So, okay, we had a resting period, but not really weakness. September, supposed to be weak. Now, the only thing I can kind of say to that is if we come over here and we look at breadth, this is the 20-day breadth and the 50-day breadth. Underneath the surface, we did actually see some weakness. You can see that the number of stocks over their 20-day began going down at the end of August and actually went down for most of September. Only now starting to maybe resurge, spike a little bit. Still a little early, but notable to see that, yes, a fair number of stocks were pulling back. And you can see this here too on the 50-day. A fair number of stocks were pulling back during September. And now we're out of September. So maybe we actually start to see things move up. Here's another one. If we've had strong returns for the first 9 months and a up year into September, so even September being up, what does October look like? Well, okay, we do start to get a little bit mixed information here. The average is down negative 0.3%, basically sideways. And it's a 50-50 ratio. So half the time it's up, half the time it's down. Maybe October is a little bit flat. Maybe October moves up and then we get a pullback and then it rebounds and we're just flat. So we could be getting some choppiness in October. That's okay. We've had some really strong months in August and September. But what that does mean is we're going to have a strong run into the end of the year. November, December, historically pretty strong too. And if we just kind of chill out a little bit in October, then, end of the year is going to be good. So for the most part, we've had some seasonal weakness underneath the surface in September. Let's see what October brings. Trade your stocks individually. And other than that, if we could just make sure we survive past September and October, then November, December are going to be really great. And I'm looking forward to it. So guys, make sure that you come into the Moxie Trading Room. It's simplertrading.com/Moxie. And remember that Simpler Trading is going to be running the indicator of the month. And I'm going to have that webinar on the 16th. So we've got lots of deals, lots of coupons. If you don't see anything posted on the website yet, we will post it soon. Reach out to customer support and we will see what kind of deals we're going to be making for you guys. Okay. Thanks again for your time and we'll see you in the room. Take care.